What's going on, guys? It's ETAPRIME back here again. Today we're going to be taking a look at the best $100 phone that I've ever come across. Now this is a prepaid or a no contract phone through Boost Mobile, but in the United States I believe you can also get it through Metro, T-Mobile, and AT&T. But through Boost Mobile this is the cheapest I've seen it at $99. You can either order it from the Boost Mobile website or check your local Walmart. That's where I picked mine up for $99, pulled it right off the shelf, and they had plenty in stock. This is known as the Samsung Galaxy A10e. Now it's a little smaller than the regular A10 that you can find unlocked on Amazon and eBay, but this is an amazing Android phone at a really good price. Before we get into the specs, I just wanted to give you a quick size comparison. On the left here we have the Galaxy S10. This goes anywhere from $550 to $1,100 depending on the configuration and where you buy it. On the right, we have the $99 Galaxy A10e. As performance and features go, the S10 will beat this every day, but it's a much more expensive phone, and if you're on a tight budget, I think the A10e is the perfect choice. If you want a good phone with an awesome camera and a great display, definitely check this one out first. So inside of the box, obviously, you're going to get the phone itself, you're going to get a 2-amp wall charger, and a USB Type-C cable for charging and syncing to your PC. On the left-hand side of the device, you're going to find your SIM card / microSD card slot, and this does support up to a 512 gigabyte card. On the right-hand side, we have our volume rocker and our power button. On the bottom of the device, we're going to find our single speaker output. We also have our pinhole microphone, USB Type-C charging port, and a 3.5mm audio jack for your headphones. As for the specs on the A10e, they're pretty decent for the price. We have an octa-core Exynos 7885. This is an 8-core CPU, 6 A53 cores at 1.35 GHz, and 2 A73 cores at 1.56. The GPU is a Mali G71 MP2, so this is a dual-core GPU, up to 647 MHz. The phone only comes with 2 GB of RAM, but it's LPDDR4, and I've been using this for the last week and I haven't had any trouble at all. Usually these cheaper phones have a really bad display, but this looks absolutely beautiful. It's a 5.83-inch display at 480 by 720, and it's the Infinity Edgeless display from Samsung. I mean, it looks really great. It's an IPS display, so viewing angles are amazing. 8-megapixel rear camera and a 5-megapixel front, both do 1080p 30 FPS. 802.11 GN and AC Wi-Fi, so you can pick up that 5 GHz network, and the speeds are great on this thing. Plus, Bluetooth 5.0. The phone is running Android 9.0 with Samsung One UI, and it's really snappy. And finally, the battery. 3000 mAh, non-removable. They claim 13 hours of web browsing or 15 hours of talk time. Now it's far from a high-end flagship phone, but the price reflects that. In this video, I'm going to run some benchmarks, we're going to test out some native Android gaming, but first I want to take a look at the camera on this thing because it's actually really good for the price. So like I mentioned, the rear camera is 8 megapixels, and with decent lighting it actually takes some really amazing shots. Especially outdoors. Now low light performance on this camera isn't the best, but it will get you by. So this is actually really low light in my office right now. And I have seen worse for more expensive phones. So if you have the right lighting, the little 8 megapixel camera on the A10e will definitely get you by. So like I mentioned, this is running Android 9.0 with Samsung One UI. I've kind of got used to this from using their tablets for a little while, and I personally really like it. Even though the A10e only has 2 GB of RAM, it must manage it really well in the background because the overall experience on this phone has been super smooth, from web browsing to playing native Android games and even emulation. I personally consume a lot of media on my phone, from Pandora for music, Netflix for video, YouTube, Hulu, HBO, all of that's going to work fine on this little device. Boost Mobile runs on the Sprint network, and I'm kind of out in the country. I don't have full bars here, but I did manage to get 18.5 megabits down and 8 up, which really isn't bad for where I'm located. I only had 2 bars of service when I did this test. The built-in Wi-Fi chip is great. I'm using my 5 GHz home network. I manage 178 megabits down and 23 up. Now I want to get into some performance testing with some benchmarks, then we'll move over to some native Android games, some emulation, and then we'll wrap this up. The first benchmark I ran was Geekbench 4, single core 1158, multi 3584. Next up, some GPU performance using 3D Mark Slingshot Extreme. On the OpenGL test, 512. On the Vulkan test, 571. And finally, Antutu with an overall score of 88,620. It's actually pretty amazing to see these cheaper phones scoring so high in Antutu. Now I know this is far from a flagship phone score, but for $99, I think an 88,000 in Antutu is pretty decent. Moving over to some native Android gaming, and to tell you the truth, I was really surprised at how well it handled everything I threw at it. This is Real Racing 3, it's definitely playable, very smooth frame rate. PubG Mobile is also playable on the A10e. I do have it on the lowest setting so I could get a better frame rate, but overall, I'm actually able to get a few kills in with this one. There are some tools on the Google Play Store to get better performance out of PUBG. I haven't tested any of them personally on this phone, but I'm sure they couldn't hurt. The phone has Bluetooth 5.0 built in, so connecting your favorite mobile controller is going to be no problem at all, and Minecraft runs really well on this. The controller I'm using here is my new favorite mobile controller. This is the Sataki 7007X. Have it in X input mode, and everything just works. Holds the phone fine, and I think it looks really good. I recently just posted a dedicated video on this controller. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in checking that out. Emulation performance is pretty good on the A10e. This is the PPSSPP emulator running PSP games. This is Burnout. We got a constant 30 here. That's what it originally ran at. Now, if you're trying to play, let's say PS2 with Damon PS2 or Dolphin, it's just not going to work on this device. It just doesn't have the power for that. But if you want to install RetroArch and play Atari 2600, NES, SNES, PC Engine, 32X, Sega Mega Drive, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, all of that's going to work at full speed on here, even Nintendo DS using the Drastic emulator. Dreamcast performance is outstanding using the Redream emulator from the Google Play Store. This is Soul Calibur, and I got a couple more here to test. I have the FPS in the top left-hand corner. Just handles these games great. And finally, some N64 emulation. This is GoldenEye 007. I'm using the Mupen plus FZ core from the Google Play Store, and I also tested out Conker's Bad Fur Day. Runs at full speed, even on the second stage. So overall, the Boost Mobile version of the Samsung Galaxy A10e is an awesome deal for $99. Like I mentioned, you can buy it from the Boost Mobile store, or you can check your local Walmart to see if they have stock. Over the last couple years, I've tested a lot of these prepaid or no contract phones, and this is absolutely the best one that I've ever tested for this price point. At $99, it's really hard to beat. There are a few other no contract or prepaid phones that are similarly priced with bigger screens, but the performance isn't going to be anywhere near what this thing can put out. I know it's only got 2 gigs of RAM and a 5.8-inch screen, but I'd much rather have this than, let's say, the CoolPad Legacy, which does cost $99 when it's on sale. So if you're on a budget and you're looking for a phone around $100, I would definitely check out the Samsung Galaxy A10e before anything else. Just go to the store, see if you can get one in your hand. I guarantee you're going to love this thing. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I really appreciate you watching. If you have any questions or you want to see anything else running on the A10e, let me know in the comments below. It'd also be really cool if you could hit that like button, maybe subscribe to the channel. I'm going to leave some links in the description if you're interested in picking one of these up. But like always, thanks for watching.